Say something for the podcast. Tell the people what you feel.
I'm just jazzed about being on the show, man.
You are listening to The Objective Jerk, where objectiveness is the objective, and I am said jerk.
Hey, how are you doing? I just recorded a podcast yesterday, but just kind of all the crap going on. I just kind of, I don't know, in the mood to talk about it, I guess. If you would like to email me, please do it at theobjectivejerk@gmail.com, or you can message me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Oh, True Social, stuff like that. So obviously the the fighting over there at the Gaza Strip and everything is still ongoing. I think after I recorded my podcast, Gaza got bombed the crap out of by Israel, and which was kind of expected, which kind of bothers me about the whole thing, which I'll talk about later. But I just, I pray that any innocent life caught in this just does not suffer and is not scared and hopefully feels the grace of God as their life is ending or something. I mean, I don't know another way to say it, because it's innocent people are dying, both sides. And I don't blame one side or the other necessarily. Just like things here in the States, it's like people get so caught up on the different sides when it's actually, just like Democrat and Republican, when it's, they're not the ones that they should be or hating on. I mean, they're crappy politicians on both sides, but I mean, they're not the ones that are egging it on and actually in control of it. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's always that guy behind the curtain. Yes, I know, Iran and this and that. I get that. But it's just people just like automatically. It just kind of seems like people jump to one side or the other without really knowing the whole story, And that's kind of my thing is I thought about it. My last video, I said I stand for peace, but there hasn't been peace there ever. You know what I mean? There's always something going on between Palestine and Israel. So to say I stand for peace is kind of moot. But so what I will say is I stand for the complete picture, the whole picture, both sides, both arguments. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of how I see myself, and that's how I kind of look at it. Because I'm a very skeptical person. I haven't always been that way, I would say within the last, honestly, when the thing that opened my eyes it's something kind of stupid, but at the same time it's not, was right before the shit hit the fan with COVID. And Trump was still president, and he was stopping anybody from, because at this time it was, they knew it came from China, eating bat soup or some shit. And so they were stopping anybody coming in from China. Well, then you had the left saying, oh my gosh, Trump's so racist, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And then you had stupid-ass Pelosi go to Chinatown and say, look, it's wonderful. And you know what I mean? And then they shut down everything. And it was just like, what is going on? You know what I mean? It's just like, so that's when I started really just kind of looking into it a little more and just not accepting everything at face value, So I'm very skeptical now since then. So that was, 5 years ago, 4 years ago. 4 years ago, I guess. So in the last 4 years, roughly, I've been just very skeptical about the news and what they say, and even what other people, especially when they're really seems like they're trying to push an agenda. So because of my skepticism, it's like I see on TikTok, in case you don't know, on TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, there are so many videos on there that are fake, fake videos of people being Karens or whatever, and stupid things. You're parked in my spot. And a lot of stuff is made to get clicks. And I'm not saying all of it is, but a lot of it, you see one video and it goes viral, and then all of a sudden you see a bunch of them. It's like, so I see certain videos and you just like, yeah, that just looks like bull crap. I'm not saying I have a bullshit meter and it's always accurate, but I do have one. You know what I'm saying? So, like for example, actually a recent one, last night I was scrolling through, and it was, I don't remember what it was on, whether it was Twitter, Facebook, whatever, but it was a picture of a crib, and it had like 2 juice bottles. One was filled with some red liquid, and the other was, and there's like a deck of cards all over, and there was, the liquid all over, and they're like, look at what they're doing to the babies. They're massacring them in their crib. I've seen massacre in real life. I've seen blood and guts, and that wasn't it. That was a kid spilt his juice all over his crib. You know what I mean? And made a mess in his crib. And see, and they try and push that to push this agenda. What the agenda is exactly, I don't know. I think it's to push Palestine completely out of Israel, is what I think the ultimate goal is. I don't know. But yeah, so it's social media is filled with BS takes, BS pictures, BS everything, I mean, look, you're watching this and hearing this on social media, so, do with it what you will. But anyway, so as I said on my previous podcast, I've been watching clips of CNN and Fox and just, different stuff, and then like, videos that were taken by Hamas apparently and everything, and just some of it just didn't feel authentic. It just seemed staged. And the media's been doing this for decades. You know what I mean? They've been doing this crap for years. It's just now getting harder and harder to do because the way technology is and how many eyes are on everything, and it's just, it's much more difficult. But recently, a video, and I saw this video too. I didn't listen to it. I didn't really watch it. It was just kind of playing on like Twitter in the background. And I think it was actually playing while I was talking on my last podcast. And I was just like, the way they're moving and everything, it just didn't look authentic. And then it's looking like it was BS. CNN, obviously, Clarissa Ward or whatever. They went hiding into a ditch because there was bombs and missiles going off and stuff like that, which were probably going off, miles and miles away, which it sounded like it. When the stuff goes off near you, you can tell. It's completely different than miles away. But I mean, even the stuff going off miles away is pretty loud and can be scary. It's nowhere near you. So, there's reports of that being bullshit. So, like I said, you can't trust the media. You have to. I think it was Denzel Washington's, he didn't create it, but that's where I heard it, was if you don't watch the news, or you don't read the news, or you don't whatever, you're uninformed. And if you do, you're misinformed. So it's like, you gotta know what's going on, But you have to be able to kind of sift through it and figure out what's legit and what isn't. And that's kind of annoying, to be honest with you. It's like, why can't the news just report on the news instead of trying to always push an agenda? And this is on both sides. So like I said, I'm not for Israel or Palestine. I'm definitely not for Hamas. I'm still trying to figure out, I don't know, what the end game. Okay, so it's just, okay, them attacking kids and people and the festival people and this and that is horrendous and it's sickening. But at the same time, based on what I just said, I don't completely believe it all. You know what I mean? Like, it's just hard for me to completely believe that that's actually, oh, look at, But then you have Hamas like taking credit, I guess, which I haven't seen that yet. I have to look for it more. But see, again, you know what I mean? It's just, this is my thing. If let's say, okay, whether it was Iran or whether Palestine had enough of it and got Hamas to, commit the attacks, does it make sense that, I mean, they had to, okay, like, what was their game plan? Like, what? So we commit these attacks. They had to have known that there's going to be retaliation like there was yesterday. You know what I mean? They have to know that they're going to get obliterated and probably forced out of their homes. That's why I don't think it's Palestine or, like, there's a money trail. And people are like, oh yeah, it was Iran. Okay, but what did Iran have to gain from it as well? I don't know. Like, it just, the only people that really kind of gain, like, if somebody gets murdered, they look at the loved ones, people they knew, and people that had something to gain from the death. Who had something to gain from Palestine leaving? I don't want to say it, but it's like, that's Israel. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what kind of makes sense in my brain. Because for Hamas to do the attack, like, what? I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe, somebody's probably listening to this and be like, oh my God, this guy's a retard. And I am, I'm nothing special. I'm not educated. I mean, a little, but what does that even mean anymore? But, I'd have to look. Actually, you know what? I'll probably make a video tomorrow based off that. Once I get done with this, I will look and see Iran's. It just seems like, well, maybe it's like, so maybe it's actually Iran, and now they're making Israel look bad, and then they're going to go and attack Israel, and I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, who knows? There's something. Because here's the thing. Palestine has been getting, for a lack of a better word, abused by Israel where they live. They have the walls built up. Not saying that was Israel that built the walls or not, but, people that are in Gaza and Palestine, they can't go anywhere. Egypt doesn't let them come in. And, they're like trapped. Yes, they're what do you call it? Hamas is there, a large group or a large, and maybe, who knows, maybe they are all Hamas and it's just the family members of Hamas, you know what I mean? And they are all terrorists. I don't know. I don't think so. But I think what you have is you have some innocent Palestinians just trying to live their life that are getting caught up in this, And the reason I believe that was, I spent 2 years in Iraq and I spent some time with the Iraqi people, and then going into Iraq, like a lot of Americans, thinking they're evil and they're bad and they want us to all die. Yeah, a lot of the people we were fighting in Iraq weren't even Iraqi, but there were some, because they felt like, their country was invaded. So I get that. But there was a lot of good, decent Iraqi people just trying to live their lives. And I'm willing to bet that it's the same in Palestine, But so my biggest problem is the media I'm going to use an analogy here. The media, they make it seem like Michael Myers from Halloween, not the comedian, snuck over to Mr. Rogers' neighborhood and just killed a bunch of children. Oh my God, look at what Mike Myers did. He killed Mr. Rogers' friends and this and that. But when in actuality, Mr. Rogers is secretly Freddy Krueger. And we all know how Freddy Krueger operates. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, I don't want to, it's like if you say anything negative towards Israel or the Jewish community, you're labeled immediately a Nazi and anti-Semitic and all that kind of crap. And it's like, it don't matter what religion you are. There's bad people in every religion. God punished Jews for hundreds and hundreds of years because they kept screwing up. How do we not know they're not screwing up right now? I mean, I don't believe God gets involved like he used to anymore, but it's just the whole picture, Everything I see is like, oh my gosh, Hamas did this horrendous thing, poor Israel, this and that. And it's like, well, okay, yes, the incident that day is horrible based on the facts that we know. But it's like when they report that yesterday there was this horrendous this and that and blah blah blah, it just seems like an agenda is being pushed. Just like with everything in the States, Why can't they just be like, due to years and years of back and forth, because Israel's got more money than Palestine. Larger landmass, you know what I mean? So if you look hard enough, you can find incidences of Israel not being too friendly towards the Palestinian people. Like I said, there was that chart that I read off on my last podcast, but I forgot to add the deaths. I was reading the injuries, but it did have the actual deaths, and I meant to actually read that, and I forgot. So I'm going to pull that up real quick because I did forget. So yesterday, and again, who made this stat? I mean, it says who made it, but how accurate is it? It's hard to say. That's why you get multiple stats, multiple sources, and you kind of weigh them. That's kind of the rule of thumb, right? But let's see. So yeah, so like 150,000 Palestinians have been killed and injured by Israel. It's more that's more injury than death since 2008. 33,000 of those were children. But no one really talks about that, right? Which is that's not right. It's not fair. I'm not saying that, hold on, before I move on, I'm trying to find that stat. Okay, here it is. So total deaths from 2008 to 2020, which is still, I mean, it's, any innocent deaths or whatever. And it doesn't really say if like this is civilians or, I don't know, but this is documented by the UN apparently. So total deaths from 2008 to 2020 on the Palestine side, 5,590. On the Israel side, 251. That's a huge significance. No, that's not the right word. That's a huge difference, right? Now, could it be that Palestinian people just reached a breaking point and decided, you know what, screw this, I'm tired of this crap. We're gonna hit them. Maybe. Do those stats justify Hamas doing what they did? If they did. No, it doesn't. But then again, we don't know exactly who's doing what, and you know what I mean? So it's just, but let's say for argument's sake, it was Palestine who ordered it, who wanted it. Does that death toll rate that I just read off, does that make it okay? No, it doesn't, Like for me, people might be like, dude, you're not there. You're not living it. You're not losing friends and family and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, okay, that's a valid point. But even if, let's say I lived in Southern California, right? And there's a wall built up between us and Mexico's pissed off. So Mexico shoots a bunch of rockets, kills my family. My family's dead because of Mexico shooting rockets over the border. Am I going to be angry, want vengeance, want repercussions, want eye for an eye, all that stuff? Yes, absolutely. Will I go to prison in order to protect my family? Yes. Would I go to prison to revenge my family? Probably. But if that was to happen to me, I would make sure I am getting revenge on the people that are responsible, So let's say this guy, he's the one that ordered the strikes, right? I'm gonna make sure this guy is no longer around. Will I kill this guy? Or would I, yes, absolutely. Would I go through a bodyguard that had nothing to do with it, but he's just there to protect the guy? Yes, I would. Would I go through 10 bodyguards that had nothing to do with the attack, but are protecting this guy? Yes, I would. Would I instead go around and kill this guy's kids because it's an easier target than him? No, I would not. Because that's just, call it whatever you want, morals or integrity. That's just wrong to involve people. Now, I know there are some terrorists, that use innocent people as shields. I mean, the Japanese did it in World War II. They would use just innocent people and use them as shields. So yes, people are horrendous and all that kind of stuff, but it's just, the point is, you need to have the whole story. You need to have the complete picture. And it's kind of hard to get that when everybody's just saying, I stand with Israel or I stand with Palestine right off the get-go without even knowing what's going on. I don't know. That's just kind of my. Man, my time is up already. That was fast. Okay. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Send me an email, theobjectivejerk@gmail.com, or you can comment on this video. Like and subscribe. I don't ever say that, but guess maybe I should. But anyway, thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.